So again, 1-point perspective is the very beginning of drawing depth on the field or sketchbook page. Okay, so there she is. It's important that you have two elements, particularly a horizon line and a vanishing point. So I'm going to walk you through the basic building blocks of drawing using 1-point perspective. Okay, so we're going to create a format on your page. Actually, no, we're just going to use your page. This is going to go on page 7 again of your sketchbook. Make sure that you have a ruler for this activity, okay? And what I'm going to do is just draw a horizon line across the page. And what this is going to do is it's going to divide the sky from the perceived ground, okay? Now, we're going to place a vanishing point on the horizon line. This is a tool that's been used for over millennia, and how to basically use that vanishing point as a reference point for all kinds of angles to create depth on the page, to make things look like there's a depth of field here. All right, so putting a vanishing point on the horizon line is going to create a convergence point for all types of angles for the tops of buildings or the tops of shapes, and the bottoms too as well. Because we're only using one vanishing point, our verticals and our horizontal lines are going to be straight across or straight up and down. All right. So the first thing that I want to do is kind of establish a road. So we're going to build basically like a street neighborhood. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my ruler and my pencil at that vanishing point. And then from that vanishing point, I'm going to be drawing my lines down. If I'm working below the horizon line, my lines are going to be angled down from the horizon line. If I'm working above the horizon line, then they're going to be angled up. So I'm going to just create kind of a wide road that's going to be converging in the distance to that vanishing point. Now, this is just an imaginary tool that artists use, when they're either drawing from life or creating an imaginary schematic or drawing of a neighborhood or anything that they want to create depth in the page. This is a technique that was discovered during the Renaissance or pre-Renaissance era. All right, so I have kind of what I think is a wide enough road here. I'm going to create some sidewalks. So I'm going to draw a line here on the left. Now here's the thing. There's also kind of an imaginary division here that once you get past a certain point, you're angling away. So we could add actually a kind of a vertical. I'll just put in a kind of a traffic kind of divider here, just so that we have that reference so you guys can see it. So this is going to be like my imaginary traffic line. Now, as you can see, we're kind of doing this. We're angling away from certain points. When you get here, the dead center, it's going to be straight. After that, you're going to be to the left or to the right, depending on which side, very much like the horizon line. Okay. So I'm going to draw a sidewalk. All right, on one side, and then I'm going to figure out, make it about maybe like that. Okay. Now, sidewalk also has kind of a curb. I'm going to show that curb height. And things that are closer to the vanishing point are going to be smaller. Things that are closer to our point of view are going to be larger. Okay, so right now all I'm doing is just creating a curb height. You can see. Now, I have sidewalks. I have a dividing line here for the middle of my road. I'm just gonna use my eraser to kind of do that. and I'll do the horizontals a little bit later, okay? Now I gotta figure out where my buildings are gonna go and what I want to create, and kind of keeping in mind this neighborhood, I want to make it kind of a warehouse district with some apartments and office buildings maybe. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to draw a horizontal line here, or excuse me, a vertical line here from that point on the sidewalk. Okay, it's just a vertical line. From that vertical line, this is going to be one corner of the first building that I'm going to create within my neighborhood, okay? This is one line. The next one I think I want to make it maybe this wide, the face of the building about this wide, okay? All right, so I have two corners of the building. And we also have kind of the bottom of the building meeting the sidewalk, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from this vanishing point here, and I'm going to go above the horizon line and connect these two lines. And so I have a guideline here going up to describe those lines, to describe the front of my building. Now, notice how my verticals again are going to be straight up and down, and my horizontals are going to be straight across. This is because I'm using just one vanishing point. Now, I'm going to draw another building kind of next to this. This is going to be the face of my building. Okay, so I'm doing the face of a building here, this shape. See that? But I want to make a building next to it that's maybe not as tall. So I want to go up here. This will be the corner of one. And I'm probably going to go off the page, right? So my format here on this large piece of paper is like the edge of your paper, okay? So then I'm going to finish off the top of this building here. I'm going to just darken the edge so that you guys get an idea of like, what the edge of the paper is going to look like. Nico, you going to your dad's? Okay. All right. So I have a tall building and a short building. Now, the only thing I need to do now is finish off this building here, and that's going to take a line that runs parallel with my horizon line. I do the top corner where these bisect, and then I also do the bottom. Can you guys see that? Can you guys see that this is a building? Give me a thumbs up if you can see it. Thumbs up if it looks okay. Beautiful. Most of you guys don't have their videos on, that's fine. Okay. Now, just so that it looks a little bit clearer and you guys can see it, I'm gonna erase these guidelines a little bit. Get rid of the horizon line because I don't need it anymore over here. You see it now? Look at that. All right. I'm gonna build one more building kind of next to this one. And I'm gonna make it pretty tall. And narrow. This, and then I'll finish it off. Okay. All right. Now, I'll just darken that so you guys can see it. Now, that's just one side of our street that we're creating, right? We can go over to the other side real quick. Now right now we're just building the shapes, right? We're building the forms of our buildings, okay? So we're gonna go over here. building over on this side. And make this one pretty tall. All right, so I'm starting to do the same thing I did over here on this side, on the right-hand side of the street. All right. I'm gonna build some low buildings next to it. And notice how I'm starting with vertical lines and building out from there. Maybe I'll build an alleyway over on this side. Let's do that. Okay. There we go. So far, so good. All right, now, so this is just the basic approach. Now, what we're gonna do now, just gonna tighten that up. We're gonna start building elements of the neighborhood, like doors and windows and maybe signs. Now, how do you do that? Well, in the same way that we created the buildings, we're gonna be doing elements of buildings. So how we built the front or face of each building, we're going to use that same methodology to create windows or doors. The easiest way that we can do that, what's the easiest way? Well, here's the thing. We're going to figure out how big we're going to make certain doorways. Let's just say that just by hand drawing this, not using a ruler, maybe this will be a doorway, right? And when we finished off, because it is below the horizon line, we're going to have an angle going down. Just like so. See that? So we're building that almost exactly like we built the facade or the face of the building. Okay? Sam, you're late, dude. All right, now, I'm gonna build some windows that are kind of like on the same level as the top of the doorway. So I'm going to draw a line and a little line here. All right, that'll be the height of my windows on the bottom. And then what I'm gonna do is just draw the bottom of the windows. Again, always referring back to that vanishing point to build those windows. And then just drawing the vertical lines here. For whatever reason, guys, if you are late, don't fret. I mean, not gonna make me happy, but don't fret. You can always catch up by watching the YouTube video and doing the work that way. But you miss out on my cool demos, man. So, just saying. So I'm gonna have this be kind of a sign, maybe. So I'm just using a ruler and hand drawing. You can use a ruler the entire time. What's cool about the rulers that you guys have in your art kits is they're clear. All right, so that's gonna be like a sign, and then I'm gonna put some windows up here to maybe represent an apartment above the stores, right? Above the store. Make these like large picture window looking things. Okay, and then just draw in those verticals. So clear rulers are kind of ideal for doing these kinds of drawings. Okay, so we have our windows. we're gonna get into the details later of other things that we can do. But let's do the same thing over on the other side. Let's maybe make this over here. Let's make this a large garage door. Maybe it's an auto shop of some sort. So this is gonna be the height of my door. And then I'm going to draw that line to describe the top of that garage door. Across, down. So it'll be a big garage door. Okay. I'm gonna get rid of some of these lines. Delete those. All right, now, before we go any further, I'm gonna do the horizontal lines here for my traffic divider, or the dividing line, my lane divider here. Don't really know the technical term of it. But we all we always abide by the rules, but we don't just drive in the middle of these lines. Ah. There we go. Traffic lines. Now here's the thing. We're gonna do the seams of the concrete on the sidewalk too. So here's the thing. Again, things that are further away are gonna be smaller or bigger. Be smaller. Things that are closer to us are gonna be larger. So we're gonna go across here. We're gonna draw these together. These are gonna be the seams. Okay. And notice how I'm doing them straight across. Again, your horizontals are going to be straight across when we're doing 1-point perspective drawings. When we do 2-point perspective or 3-point, that's going to change. But using 1-point perspective, we are going to be drawing our horizontals and verticals either straight up and down, or straight across from left to right or right to left. So I'm drawing these kind of idealized seams in the concrete, and they're going to get closer and closer together the closer we get to that horizon line. Okay. Again, your clear rulers are going to be really helpful with this. See this? Oh yes. So on and so forth. All the way back. All the way back. Okay. So there's our sidewalk, going all the way back. Let's do that now. Some of you might have done this before in another art class. Some of you might not. This is your first time. Just again, I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible and approachable as possible. All right, so we're gonna add on this side maybe a side door. All right, vertical line. And keep it around like it's adjacent to that door here. So I want to make it close to that same size. Right. I'm also going to make a large window kind of next to it. Maybe it's like a pet shop, who knows? And again, still referencing that vanishing point. Alright. Yeah, and maybe there's an apartment above this too as well. And maybe there's a sign. Put a space for a sign here. Maybe it's Moe's Garage. Who knows? And maybe we'll make this another garage. Maybe this is like a auto row here, where we'll get the cars fixed. Right. And then we'll use one more door down here. We'll make it almost the same height relative to the other door on the other side. Right. Okay. Okay. Now, the last thing before we go, what I want you guys to do now, on the inside area of your buildings, I want you to just shade that non-facing side, that non-street facing side, just like so. And what this is going to do is going to give a little depth of field to your buildings. For right now, we're going to revisit this tomorrow. This is not due. This is not an assignment I've posted yet because I want you guys to keep working on this. Okay. So this is part 1. Okay. And I want you to darken the areas that are a little bit deeper into the alleyway. Create kind of a gradient. Okay. All right, we're gonna pick this up again on probably Monday of next week. We're gonna get into more of the details later on, but for today, you guys have done a good job so far. Keep these drawings again on page 7, and we're gonna come back to this for one foot perspective exterior neighborhood next week. Okay? I will talk to you guys next week. Thank you so much. See you on Wednesday.